Namaskaram yogis. I'm Riza and I'm here to talk about one of my favorite Hindu deities, one of the heroes of one of the oldest epic Sanskrit texts, the Ramayana. He has one whole section dedicated to him, the Sundarakandam. And my favorite deity is no other than Hanuman, the monkey god. And so the tale begins that he is born the son of Anjana and Vayu, the wind god. And he's a mischievous little boy. He plays pranks on all the monks trying to meditate in the forest. He uproots trees. He's really showing his godly power, really running around. Absolutely no humility, not a humble bone in his body, just going around sort of not making excuses, causing trouble. And so this creates a problem. So his mother Anjana wants him to go study with all these wise men and rishis to gain knowledge and to be trained, but they refuse him. And so the gods punish Hanuman and they put him into the incarnation of a monkey body. So he goes to live in the jungle amongst these other monkeys and he's living a monkey life. And also the other gods as well have made him forget that he's a god. And so he doesn't remember he has divine powers. And so this brings Hanuman back down to earth. This grounds him in Hanuman's mind. He's just a monkey. And in this forest experience and all the adventures of the Ramayana, he meets the mighty Ram, King Ram, the supreme consciousness, the avatar of Vishnu, God, if you will, or your higher self. And he immediately connects with Ram, and Ram connects with him, and they build this strong, really beautiful, devoted friendship. And so he focuses all his devotion, all his love on Ram. And so Ram's beautiful bride, Sita, is kidnapped by an evil demon and taken to this land far away called Lanka in the middle of the sea. And so Ram is in the middle of this big epic war. He can't escape and he just wants to make sure Sita is safe until he can get to her. So he sends his faithful friend Hanuman to go and get her. He said, Hanuman, please cross the sea, find where Sita is and let her know that we're coming for her. So Hanuman, of course, being a devoted and loving and kind friend, says, yep, I'm on it. And so he goes out into the forest to meditate, to find a way to accomplish this, since there's no way to get across the sea to this island. And so in his deep meditation, he starts to create ideas and have faith that he could do this impossible feat. And this faith starts to grow in him so strongly that he actually stands at the shore and he could see Lanka across in the distance, across the water. And he takes that big magical leap that is personified or embodied in Hanumanasana, the asana that we know as split. Or even Anjay Asana, lunging. It represents that leap of faith that Hanuman just knew in his heart that God would be with him to do the right thing, to get across. And he finally gets across. He tells Sita to hang on, that they're coming for her. And then they rescue Sita. And so he brings Sita and her beloved Ram together as a good friend. And together they celebrate life. And so the point of a lot of the stories going on with Hanuman is through devotion, through faith, through love, we can accomplish the impossible. And there's even a story about Hanuman sitting in meditation, just repeating the bija Ram, 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 just Ram's name over and over. And Ram approaches him and said, why? Why do you constantly chant my name? And Hanuman says, because I forget who I am. And when I forget who I am, I remember you, and I call to you, and I rest in you. So in the symbolism there, he's resting in God and that faith and that higher consciousness, knowing that all good things come through devotion, through meditation, through that practice of faith that we all have, that wellspring of faith in our hearts. And when we leave the ego behind, Hanuman left his divine self, right, his godly powers, his ego behind, and just rested in Ram, that supreme consciousness. He was connected then to all beings in the universe, to everyone in the universe, and he was able to devote his love and time to giving joy to others, to reuniting these lovers in love and joy. And so that from that really springs a lot of the traditions in Bhakti or devotional yoga. And so one of the chants associated with Hanuman, that's also in the Vedas and is also a closing prayer, I believe in the Sundara Kandam as well, is the phrase or the mantra, if you will, Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. And that basically represents, may all beings everywhere be happy and free. And so when we cultivate this deep compassion, this deep love to what is good, what is pure, to our connection to everyone, because we want everyone to be healthy and happy and live in love and live their best life, right? So we need to call upon this compassionate energy within us so that we can then resonate it out into the universe. And so when we're feeling stuck or we feel there's injustice or we just want to spread compassion into the planet, we can chant this chant over and over. One of the ways that we can do it is through japa or following the beads. So japa meditation, you can repeat Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu and just keep moving through the beads until you complete the 108. Or you can simply sing it. And if you want to join me in singing it, you can just breathe deep. Inhale and begin. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Another great way to cultivate that compassion, that love, that devotion to the goodness of our soul, to the divine connection we have to everything in the universe, is to place your left hand on your heart, your right hand on your belly, and just breathe deep. And repeat the mantra to yourself silently. Or if the Sanskrit is a bit difficult for you right now, just simply say, may all beings everywhere be happy and free. Taking your time, repeating this mantra, repeating words of compassion, and maybe closing your eyes and visualizing your epitome of compassion. Maybe it's someone in your life, your mother, your lover, your pet, that shows you unconditional love and compassion. Or maybe it's an act. Maybe it's someone famous even, like Gandhi, who had supreme compassion, or Mother Teresa. You can visualize this being, or maybe even God, the higher consciousness within you, and picture them as a light inside your heart space. And every time you repeat the phrase, that light grows and radiates outside of your heart space into the world. Thank you so much for joining me on this talk about Hanuman, the monkey deity who is the deity of love, compassion, and devotion. Namaskaram.